The Naked Bottomless Portafilter. Why would you use one? G'day everyone, I'm Luke and welcome back to the Artistic YouTube channel where we guide you through all things coffee. So you don't miss out on any of our future videos, make sure you subscribe, like and hit that bell icon. Now, go on, do it. I dare you. If you have any questions about today's video, please leave us a comment below. We do love answering them. Today we're looking at the Naked Portafilter or the Bottomless Portafilter. So why would you buy one? Well, firstly, the coffee coming out of this thing looks cool. There is no doubt you're going to get a huge following on Instagram if you start putting these kind of photos up and about of your extractions. It just looks amazing. So you'll see how cool they are with all these cone shapes, the lovely drips, the ooziness. It's just beautiful to watch. But there is so much more that you can get out of this in how you're developing a better extraction, getting better distribution, even coffee grinds throughout the whole puck, and generally just a great assessment to make sure that your espresso is perfect every time. So there are a couple of different types. You've got things like a standard Lamazocco one, which is a properly engineered one. There's a lot of these retrofittable style timber ones. And there are some hacks, to be honest. A lot of people will get out there with a grinder and cut them. So if you're going to cut one, you want to make sure that you don't have this big issue occurring here. So what will happen is the coffee will actually retract back down the handle and it won't work. So be sure to invest those couple of bucks and get yourself an original or a good copy and you won't have that concern. So when you've got your coffee machine, you're going to have a portafilter with perhaps a single spout and a double spout. Now there are a range of different portafilter handles and they have a slight difference in their design. Now if you have a look at this one right here, you can see it starts straight and then actually tapers in a little bit. Now this is, even though it's a double spout, you can see we can't fit a straight wall basket in there. And that's an 18 gram basket. Now commercially, we like to use these 21 gram straight wall baskets. You can buy them as a copy or you can get the cool VST ones, and there's some really nice baskets out there on the market. But they actually won't fit into a standard handle because they're so straight, it will actually knock on this curve and not go in. So you can then buy another handle with a double spout on it or a single if you like, that is actually a little bit deeper. And you can see here that there is a very big difference between the design there. Now that allows it to have the bigger baskets. So, okay, that's going to fix one problem by putting a big basket into a handle like this. But what's that going to achieve? Essentially, when you get the coffee coming out the bottom of a basket, it's going to end up in the little well here and go down that hole. And simply, if you've got a double spout, it will just split it to the left or the right hand side. And most of the time, that is going to be an issue if your machine's not level, not about how you're tamping or other issues that you've got going on. It can also be because you've actually got some water in here and one side of these spouts is wet and the coffee will naturally flow down the wet surface rather than the dry spout side. So that's pretty much what's happening inside that basket. You don't know whether it's a good extraction, it's even, there's been channeling, you've got a high pressurized spurt coming out of here. You really have no idea because you can't see what's happening inside this basket. You're totally relying on that liquid coming out and dripping or pouring at your preferred recipe's time frame. So to learn more about what's happening, we want to see what happens at the bottom of this basket. And that's where the bottomless or naked is going to be our hero in this part. So essentially, we can see exactly what's happening on every extraction right there live while we're using it. So it's going to allow us to see if it's showing some stainless steel holes here first with our extraction and the coffee's only coming out one side. And that might be because you haven't tamped nice and level on your coffee. We're going to start to see some really dark drips coming on one side of the basket and very light on the other. And that's because the light side is actually maybe got some more coffee in there and it's slowing things down. And the right hand side has some really nice fine grinds and it's getting more out of that actual coffee. So it all comes down to your distribution of your coffee grinds in your basket. And you can start to analyze those by seeing what is happening on the other end. So it's a really great tool for you to make sure that you're consistent in your dosing, consistency in your grind, and most of all, your distribution of your actual grinds to ensure there's no channeling and no defects in your puck. So it's a great visual so you can see what's happening with your extraction. Now, a lot of people also look about timing from the first drip that comes out of the bottom of your spout. Now, is that great? Well, how long has that water actually been infusing with the coffee before it's made its way into the bottom of the basket and then made its way out? So you can easily see with a Naked when that coffee has actually started to process through your coffee puck. So really, is that the right amount of pre-infusion time that you're chasing? Or is it time it took from the bottom of the actual basket to get out the handle? So again, some refinements there in time that you can play with. But essentially, you've now got a better understanding of things you can measure. So the other thing you can gain when you get yourself a new Naked portafilter is a better ergonomics when you're actually grabbing your handle. So a lot of the older handles actually come straight off from where your groove basket actually fits into your handle. And newer handles are actually tapered. So that is a far better, more ergonomics when you're grabbing onto the handle and locking it in. So there's a bit of an added bonus there if you've got old handles versus new ones. You should be able to see that difference there. Now, the other great thing is when you're getting into large size mugs or bigger takeaways, sometimes there isn't enough room under a coffee machine from these spouts to fit your cups. So you can see now with a 12 ounce, we can't get under there. We have to tilt that cup and come in under an angle. And we can't always see what's happening inside that cup. So if we get ourselves a Naked, we'll be able to lock it straight in and get us a lot more room. So a couple of the other drawbacks is it's very hard to extract a coffee out of this into a small espresso cup. You literally have to hold it all the way up and make it sort of seal so that it is going to give all of that extraction into the cup. It doesn't always drip in nicely. You'll get drips all the way around the outside. So there's a bit of a challenge when you're doing espressos. So the question is do we use Nakeds in our shop right here? The answer is no, because we need to be able to split shots. Now, in main service, we will have a double shot in this one, and we may have a 16 ounce, which is larger, and we will split from this side into 2 cups. And we'd be splitting that into some little piccolo glasses and popping that into a cup and then adding another double shot on top. So it may not suit what you're doing in your cafe on a day-to-day. Do we use Nakeds to assess coffee or use it as a training method to be able to get people to understand what's happening in instructions? Definitely. So thanks very much for watching. I hope this has helped you understand why you would buy yourself a Naked, aka a bottomless portafilter, for home or in your shop. Thanks guys for watching. Have an awesome day.